Buffalo, New York, June 27, 1967, riots break out. The black community, one-third of whom are on welfare, can't wait any longer.
We want to do what is right, while we want to contain this and not let it get out of hand. I want to make it crystal clear that as mayor, and I know you agree with me, that we will not tolerate a violation of the law. We will not tolerate criminal activity. We will not tolerate looting and pillaging. And we will do everything we can to bring those persons to justice. They will be arrested and brought into court, and the law will have to take its course.
After 4 nights of violence and $100,000 damage, the mayor promises to do something about employment opportunities within a week, if they will cool off.
We were only in there for about a month and a half when Buffalo blew. We weren't even organized. And even our critics, the Buffalo press, editorialized that they were grateful for B.U.I.L.D being in there, that it would have been a lot worse.
I want to comment about the outside agitators that the mayor claims is coming into Buffalo to create the disorder. Number one, chronic unemployment of adults and teenagers. Number two, inferior education of 24,000 Negro children in the Buffalo public school system. Number three, your slum lords and your slum merchants that flee to the suburbs with our hard-earned cash and overcharge us for everything in the ghetto. Number four, police brutality. Some of our policemen don't know how to treat Negroes. They treat them like they're animals and talk to them like they're animals. And these are human beings. Number five, the lack of recreation facilities. There's one swimming pool to every 50,000 Negroes, and there are 100,000 Negroes in the city of Buffalo. Number five, we're sick and tired of this Uncle Tom leadership. That's why we have B.U.I.L.D here.
The Buffalo Area Council of Churches, these are the Protestant churches, asked us to come in and put up the money. After we told them what the budget cost would be, our response was, you do not have any right to invite us into the black ghettos. We are not a colonial power. You have no right to speak for them. Until the black community itself invites us in, we will not move.
The Buffalo organization B.U.I.L.D had been formed in late 1966. Alinsky sent in Dick Harmon as staff director. At its founding convention, B.U.I.L.D had named employment a top priority. 1 week after the riots, B.U.I.L.D is off to see the mayor.
May I have your attention, please? I hope that you all have your briefing sheets in front of you and that you have read them very carefully. I'll just go over it here just so that we're sure. Number one, we're going to the mayor's office and then to the Chamber of Commerce. I'm Reverend Fletcher Bryant, who will be the spokesman. Now, we don't want to go down in a rowdy, unmannerly way. We want to move quickly and in numbers with discipline. Show them that we can come with the kind of dignity that we expect from them.
Started, yeah. Well, what we're going to do? Yeah, about it. Since we can't give them any more than we want for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, if we might begin, the leadership is here at the top of the steps to let us gather in an orderly manner at this point and move to the mayor's office.
I would like to make you more comfortable, but I didn't expect so many persons. However, is Mr. Harmon here? Is Mr. Harmon here?
Yes, Mr. Harmon is here.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say initially that our meeting this afternoon is with you, that we would ask that any other persons invited here, that their role be strictly observed. Is this understandable?
All right. And let's understand this now. How many persons are going to speak? You can well
I am the spokesman, one spokesman
All right.
for the organization. A week ago, you met with civic and industrial leaders and made a specific request in regard to jobs in the face of a crisis in job inequities in the Negro community. We would like to know what is the response of this plea that you made a week ago.
Is Mr. Light here of the Chamber of Commerce? Mr. Light? I asked Mr. Light to be here, and he might be on his way.
And sir, we would insist that if Mr. Light arrives, that his role would be that of as an observer also. We ask
Well,
to
I
meet
think
with
that
you, Mr. Mayor.
you're asking me what that response is, and my response will depend upon information that I receive from the Chamber of Commerce. And Mr. Light has been the person who has been contacting the various industrialists and business people.
We requested an opportunity to meet with the Chamber of Commerce and Mr. Light. This was denied to B.U.I.L.D organization, representing 143 black organizations in our community. So we feel that we're here to talk with you today.
I see.
If Mr. Light wants to meet us, he still has the opportunity at this moment to honor the invitation at 1 o'clock at the Chamber.
Now, let me answer your question. As of yesterday afternoon, late afternoon, my information in my contact with Mr. Light, who was handling the matter for, who was the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce, was that some 916 jobs appear to be available. That includes the 600 jobs that the county is making available. That is not the end of it. About 2,000, as I understand it, about 2,000 letters have been sent to the various business and industrial leaders in this area. And plans are underway to find out just how many jobs eventually will be available. But I can tell you this, that the Chamber is concerned, that efforts are being made, and that we're all trying to solve some of these problems.
But then you're saying that they have not delivered at this point. And the second point I'd like to raise...
No, you're saying it. I'm not saying it. I am not saying they haven't delivered. You're apparently ignoring my answer when I tell you that in my conversation with Mr. Light, he mentions a figure of 916, but more effort is being made. They just haven't stopped. They're still contacting the business and industrial leaders.
Are these jobs of a temporary or permanent nature?
I haven't got the full specifics on them. Some of them will be permanent, some will be temporary, but efforts are being made.
Well, let me at this time, Mr. Mayor, make crystal clear B.U.I.L.'s position on this job matter. First of all, we're not interested in lollipop temporary job opportunities. Now, you stated to the news media last week that we ought to be concerned about the causes, the root of the problem. We all recognize that the root of the problem lies in employment, permanent employment. And this is a concern of B.U.I.L.D organization. Because you see, we have to raise the question, what is going to happen to these young people at the end of the summer? What is going to happen to the young Negroes that graduate from high school? What is going to happen to the 15% unemployment in our ghetto areas? B.U.I.L.'s position is that we are concerned about permanent jobs, 3,500 permanent jobs with a take-home pay of $75 with a policy of hire now and train later.
I point out to you, again, that the solution of this problem rests with the business and industrial leaders of this area, not with me.
I feel that we're being honest with you at this point. We are making you aware of our concern.
All right.
And it seems to me this is the place to begin.
Reverend, now, let me say this first to you. You asked me what the response had been up to a point. And I told you that while I have been in contact with the Chamber, in person, and on the phone, that as far as getting into specifics and what has been done up to this moment, that I did not have those specifics. I could talk in generic terms. Now, you said that you didn't want anyone else to talk. Now, I ask you to reconsider that and to point out to you that Mr. Chuck Light of the Chamber of Commerce, who has been handling this phase of it, is here.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate your time, So we will not accept these
Well,
arrangements.
may I ask him one question then? Just one question. Mr. Light, are you and the chamber willing to meet with B.U.I.L.D?
As I pointed out to Mr. Harmon yesterday, we would be glad to. He knows we've already had one meeting with them. Unfortunately, we don't have a room large enough at the chamber.
There's plenty of space outside and around the city, so don't let this be your concern. Will you honor our meeting then?
Well, you know I will.
Well, this isn't. Well, I think, gentlemen, that certainly, Mr. Mayor, we appreciate the hearing at this time, and we have stated our purpose in coming, and you have responded accordingly. And we thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The door is always open, and we'll keep talking until we solve the problem.
To an organizer watching it, the following things come through to me in a hurry, which I think might escape just the general observer. One, the mayor immediately asked for Harmon, my organizer, who's white. He feels more at home talking to a white organizer right away. He doesn't get that, so he gets a little flustered on it. Suddenly he finds himself with a black spokesman that he doesn't know. Second, that spokesman is following out a very definite tactic. He knows when he goes into a mayor's office that the mayor's tactics first are to look for more than one spokesman. Because if you have 3 or 4 spokesmen, and you can get them talking between themselves or even shooting questions at them, the one thing the mayor wants to do, he's got a 1-hour appointment, is to use up as much of that time and talk. So he doesn't have to make any commitments. So he can say, well, gentlemen, it was very nice you're all coming in here, and of course we weren't able to cover all the ground. I'd like to think about it, and maybe we'll get together again. You know, don't call me, I'll call you. So in order to avoid this situation, one spokesman is always selected, and he is told that he's got to have a specific question and stay with it. Never let the mayor get off of it. And of course, one thing you also noticed was that no one from the group broke in on the spokesman. This is what is meant by discipline, and this is what you get as part of an organization. You just get a whole demonstration group coming in. Everybody wants to talk, and nothing occurs there. The other thing is, you see, the Chamber of Commerce guy had tried to avoid meeting with B.U.I.L.D. because he knew that by meeting with B.U.I.L.D., whether he said he recognized them or he didn't, once he met with them, that was an act of recognition. So the only thing that could really come out of the mayor's meeting was by getting the Chamber of Commerce guy and knowing that no mayor wants to carry the responsibility himself. You were using that meeting as a force to compel the Chamber of Commerce guy to meet with B.U.I.L.D. whether he wanted to or not. But the mayor saying, of course he's going to meet with you. What was the Chamber of Commerce guy going to say? Well, Mr. Mayor, you don't understand the complications on this if I meet with them, blah, blah, blah. So he had to meet.
Now, it seems to me the first vital and most important thing is that you recognize us as a vital link in the Negro community.
I understand you're one of several civic and Negro rights organizations in the community. The thing that disturbs me is that last Friday there was a meeting at the YMCA called by all of the Negro civil rights groups in the area. We attended that meeting with other representatives of the community, and I understood that every responsible Negro civil rights group was there. And it was agreed at that meeting that the CAO, which is the Community Action Organization, certainly truly representative of the community, would be the coordinating agency for all jobs that were produced from every source. This was the county, this was the state, this was the federal government, this was the business community. And we are doing as
we represent the people, sir. We represent the people. Now, whoever gave you this information is beyond me, but we represent the people in the community at this point. We're here to make our demand. I'm not interested in entering any discussion of the NAACP, CORE, Urban, all these groups. God bless them at this point. All they can do. But we are interested in permanent jobs.
Fine.
3,500, 1,000 within a month. If you don't trust us at this point.
Oh, we trust you.
And you don't feel that we have the confidence. I think we have placed this here before you. We've asked for the right as representatives to have a role in the screening and recruitment. And that if you're concerned with this, Mr. Light, the people and so forth, then
we've been involved in this, as you know, since 1964. You know that?
Well, we're aware. We read the newspapers and other things, but we're concerned about permanent jobs.
How many people do you think we've placed permanently so far? 450 persons have been placed permanently. 150 have come off the welfare rolls. Did you know that? Did you know that? No, I ask you a question. Did you know that? This is our involvement. This is the interest that we have in this area.
What about the jobs you have available now? These 900 some odd. Are these permanent jobs?
As agreed, they've all been channeled through the CAO, as agreed last Friday in the meeting with all at the YMCA.
You're going to ignore an organization representing the people, huh?
Are you saying to us? Aren't you cooperating with the CAO?
Well,
aren't you cooperating?
Look, I'm not here to present any demand. Sure, we cooperate all the organizations, but here again, I'm here in behalf of B.U.I.L.D. organization, and I've raised the question. I don't want to cooperate with B.U.I.L.D. You will accept us then as a recruiting and screening for jobs you have to offer.
For your percentage of the jobs that we have to offer, sure.
Yeah, what are you cutting the pie on? What jobs do you have to offer at this point, and how are you cutting the pie? I mean, what do you mean percentage?
I suggest that you contact CAO. The CAO, the Community Action Organization, the official federally recognized organization, is screening and handling all of the job opportunities that we've been able to develop.
Says who? Says the power structure. We represent the people.
What power structure now? This was agreed by the civil rights organizations, not the business community. Huh?
That's what I'm saying.
And as I've said 4 or 5 times in our discussions, we'll be glad to work with you along with the others as we have already done as of last week.
What do you mean work with us?
Well, is not this an example of cooperation, of listening to what you're suggesting?
If I might have your attention a moment, I'd like to talk a little bit about the process and some of the things that we saw happen. First of all, I think the thing that we observed today was the beautiful execution of power. Now, you can send 1 or 2 folk down there to speak for Negroes. You can send a so-called leader down to speak for Negro people. But when Negro people turn out in numbers and demand their rights, then this is power. I don't know whether you noticed the knees of the mayor shaking and how shaky the Chamber of Commerce president was. So the first thing we need to look at is power. When we get together and do things and demand, then we are heard. The second thing I think that we attain is that they recognize that B.U.I.L.D. is a voice that has to be respected in the Negro community.
And what came out of it was the recognition by the mayor, by the Chamber of Commerce, and by the powers that be, that B.U.I.L.D. was the massive representative group organization of the black ghetto, that they could not hide behind the facade of the poverty program. This has been a strange irony, where the poverty program operations have been part of the establishment, used as a shield by them, where they've gotten all their little favorite go-alongers, Uncle Toms and so forth, into poverty program jobs, and have said, well, we're dealing with the poor, we're dealing with the people, we're dealing with the poverty program. This is one thing in terms of tactics. You sit with a political leader and you say, this is the question, do you recognize us or don't you? And he gets off and says, well, blah, 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 blah. You don't hear him. Do you recognize us or don't you? Now, you saw this going on with the spokesman who kept repeating himself. But that's what was the basis on the repetition. The opposition always tries to get away from this issue by saying, well, after all, there are other groups. There's the War on Poverty, the OEO group, there's this group, that group, and this group. Now here, the spokesman also very carefully trained, he was an IEF staff man, who knew that what they were baiting for was that he should make some remark about, well, look, The Urban League and the NAACP and these other organizations don't count. We represent 150 organizations. They don't have any rank and file membership and so forth. Well, this immediately starts a war back there between the other organizations, and this is what the establishment would like to see happen. That's the reason why he kept saying, look, the NAACP, the Urban League, and so forth, God bless them, etc. We are here representing all these organizations. Do you or do you not recognize us? Now, all through this, too, there was a real awareness that the establishment was not going to deliver anything. Actually, you remember the number of jobs, 960 jobs and all that stuff? Well, the actual number of jobs that came out of that was, from the Chamber of Commerce, 27 jobs. From the county, about 300, let's see. Yeah, 300 jobs, and they're all temporary jobs and poverty program jobs. You see, the threat was over. The violence was over. And now they were just trying to get out of the situation. There were a whole series of areas that they were moving in on, as well as the jobs things.
In the same week, B.U.I.L.D. launches its own attack on employment inequities. Its target is Niagara-Mohawk, a public utility. Recognition of B.U.I.L.D. is again the issue, as the number of Niagara-Mohawk jobs possible in the Buffalo area is not great.
1 minute.
B.U.I.L.D.'s president, Reverend Frank Emanuel.
You ready, Reverend?
Yes,
Are
really.
you fellas ready? Record. Is that rolling?
Rolling.
Okay, we're rolling. Get that? Go.
Bill is called today for a top-level meeting with Niagara-Mohawk to discuss the company's policy toward hiring Negroes. We have asked for a meeting this week with James A. O'Neill, Administrative Vice President for the Western Division of Niagara-Mohawk.
Now listen, do you feel your leadership understands what kind of battle you're going into? You know, in Rochester.
Alinsky staff man in neighboring Rochester, Ed Chambers, is in town to consult with Dick Harmon on tactics, as Harmon is still a bit green.
A year and a half, you know, before we dug in on them. But by this time, in view of other battles, particularly on urban renewal, our leadership realized that they were launching a major campaign that was going to take a year, possibly a year and a half. They realized that it wasn't the kind of thing where there's going to be a quick, easy victory. That the power situation they had lined up against them was of the kind that very sophisticated, very clever. So it's important, I think, because you're young and you're going into this thing after about 6 months, that they realize that the tactics and the strategies aren't the kind you use for, you know, sheet hangings. Yeah. And it isn't simply, they aren't as easy as running down and putting the mayor on the spot.
We've got a little different leverage because these guys are a legal monopoly, you know, regulated by the state.
Yeah.
Public Service Commission.
Yeah.
They operate in northern PA, which will give us some leverage with the feds.
The Buffalo Negro community has no alternative but to pay our money for electricity to Niagara-Mohawk because it is a legal monopoly. Niagara-Mohawk's willingness to permit lily white construction unions to freeze out Negro workers is typical of the area's construction industry.
Your main thing now is to get into confrontation with the top management. You well know they're going to try to shift you off onto PR,
industrial relations.
Right. You have to wait till you get O'Neill.
Yeah.
These other guys will talk us to death, and pretty soon it will be the cold of December. And when we've all worked out something, then they'll say, well, we got to go back. We got to go back and talk to the board of directors. Their experience has been withstand it for a week, 2 days, and they go away. They've never ran up against a persistent, mass-based organization that picks away at them day in and day out.
Yeah.
And now you've got the visible construction site to pinpoint it on. But you're talking about much more than just a few jobs in that construction site. You go after Niagara-Mohawk, you're going after the core of the city.
Bill Bill takes this opportunity, this occasion, not only to serve notice on Niagara Mohawk, but to serve notice on the city, the county, state and federal governments that we will take appropriate measures to hold up construction of the proposed county building, the proposed state office building, the proposed Federal General Services Administration building, and the proposed state university buildings, until there are Negroes employed in every skilled category on every job financed by public funds in the Buffalo area.
Now remember, this is something the senators get very concerned about.
Well, Kennedy should buy this issue. He's talking about getting industry into the ghettos. All right, this is and it's he's got influence through the fact that it's a public monopoly.
Right.
B.U.I.L.D. has a good many other issues. Every organization that we build is built on a multi-issued basis. The worst thing you can do, and one of the reasons why some of the civil rights or a large part of the civil rights movement went dead, is to organize around a single issue. It becomes a straitjacket to any organization. In the first place, you take a single issue and you literally lock out a large part of potential membership who may be sympathetic to the issue, but in terms of their hierarchy of concerns, if I can use that phrase, there are other things they're more interested in than that. That's the kind of thing they're willing to come to one meeting every 2 months, sign a petition, give you a couple of bucks. But there's something else that they're more concerned with. Now, in an organization, you always get the number one concerns of a whole group of people across the board, and then they become the program, and this is one of the basic themes in building a mass organization on it. Once they establish themselves by recognition, the mayor and so forth down the line, B.U.I.L.D. was able to take that public recognition and use it against the retail merchants, against the supermarkets, and other sectors of the economic life of Buffalo to score heavily with a great many jobs. This is where the victory came.
In still another attack on black unemployment this same week, members of B.U.I.L.'s Job Committee investigate hiring and promotion practices of individual merchants in the downtown area, where Negroes spend approximately $20 million each year.
In the first place, they're going to be hostile to you. They don't know what you're there for. And they may be afraid that you're after his job. And people are funny when you talk to them about things like that. So how you're going to get in to do this is what we better decide. Not how many places we can go, but how many we can effectively get the information from that we want. And this is going to be a job.
I found it helpful to ask for the executive. Now, I'm white, though, and these are white businesses. You might very well get better answers out of the workers. Iroquois was very open with me. Simon Pure wouldn't even let me into his office.
Smith's Metals. Pepsi-Cola. Does anyone know where they move?
Very good. Yeah.
That's where Pepsi-Cola runs. They got their own dealerships.
How about the Carling's distributors?
Well, Mayo is the only one at Carling's Distributors on the in our zone, but now we got a few more at Carling's, at Black Label, liver and beer. For truck drivers, now that's the only problem we got. It's about the truck drivers, deliverers, you know? We ain't got too many. I don't think we got over 2. But as far as maintenance work inside, they got colored women working evenings, cleaning up. My cousin, she was working there. But
What about the money jobs?
about the money jobs, I think you got to get on Iroquois. I think you got to just check them out.
Salesmanship. Yeah, salesmanship. You got to reach a little bit.
That's right.
And you got to be able to step up to your part of the responsibility at the same time that you're making the demands. And you've got to keep this in mind.
Well, okay, well,
it's all right to make these demands, but you incur a little bit of responsibility at the same time.
If each team can get the 2 places, well, you may have a bit of a problem, maybe a bit more of a problem than we've anticipated in some instances.
I think now we can.
Okay, does everybody know who belongs to whom?
No, call them off.
Team 1.
The basic thing in this whole organizational operation is to constantly increase the area of participation, because as far as just going ahead and setting up an organization in which individuals become, relatively speaking, anonymous supporters, that through their organization get more increased benefits, material benefits. Basically, you're not pushing too much of the democratic process. I don't want to start using cliches like the dignity of the individual or the potentials of the individual and stuff like that. But unless you have the kind of climate and the kind of operation where people begin to develop as people, I think we're losing the main reason for any system, including the democratic system.
I could pretend to be the white employer, you know, and you might want to go through your exactly what you'd be saying to me and my responses and how you'd react to my responses, so you wouldn't have to take it all cold tomorrow. You know, you might want to do this right now. You know, there's kind of a knock on my door.
Let's start this thing. Well, you're replying. Well, I probably won't be the one to reply. Well, in this instance, you are the one. Oh, you put me on the spot, man. Let's see. You fill out, you know, if they would let you fill out an application, and I don't know how would I go about this. You know, just go in and ask. You know, just say I'm here to give some information. Get some information about employment and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I'd say I'm here to see about your unemployment. You know, I mean, your employment. I would like a job or something. You know, I like a job, and I'm eager to work if you would have me. You know, something like this.
Well, we'd be happy to consider this. Now, I've heard that B.U.I.L.D is a group of Negroes that are pushing some white people around, some white business people around.
This has been so. We're just trying to equalize people, you know, make it equal. We're not trying to push anybody around or make it tough for anybody. We just want more jobs for colored people, that's all.
Yeah. You're coming on real strong. And that's
I'm
good.
nervous.
No, it's all right. It's good that we're going through this now rather than tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you would be hunting around for the type of man who would be trained then for this particular job. And so you're kind of trying to find out from our firm, from Stony Point Distributors, you know, what our job breakdown is along those lines. Well, let's say I'm going to be nasty, Joe, and I'm not going to I'm not going to give you that information. I figure it's my business, and you're not from the government, and you got no legal arm behind you. And I just don't want to deal with that damn form, you know, that you're giving me.
I can't force it out of you or nothing like that. So I guess we'll have to take other means, but I'm not going to force it out of you. I'm not going to use violence on you. You know? Thank you, sir. Good day.
Well, I know what you're talking about. You're starting to say, well, by golly, you guys might throw a picket up around my place, and I might think twice about not paying any attention to this form of yours. And that's all part of the way the world runs right now.
This is what a lot of fellas have got to learn, you know. If they go to a place, you know, say the guy says, well, I'm not going to fill it out. The hell with it. Well, we'll do this, you know.
Well, no one has said that before. You see? Lots of other people have said, you know, you do this or we'll do that. But they haven't been black people. And the other the companies have jumped too. And this is, you're working and dealing like everybody else has been doing it for years.
Put the pressure on, but put it in a different sense than violence.
Yeah, in a different sense than violence. Like it or not, this world is one that is, you respond to pressure. And the white community's been putting on their own pressure, kind of green power, dollar power, for a long time. You know, hire their own sons, do this and that.
What you were witnessing in that picture and helping to train him, and you notice that he kept sort of responding with, well, I'll say this or I'll say that. we whites have done such an extraordinary job of brainwashing on the blacks that many blacks do consider themselves second-class citizens. Ordinarily, for example, I go into a white low-income community, and on an oversimplified basis, the approach goes this way. We're equal to those outside. They look upon us as a colony. We're getting shafted out of our legitimate rights. We're going to organize, we're going to get power, and we're going to fight our way out. Now let's roll, and you're off. In a black community, we have to spend the first 4 or 5 months in action programs convincing the blacks that they are in fact equal to the whites outside before we reach what is a primary stage in the white community.
The riots have brought a lot of people at least talking. Yeah. Not a great deal other than that. It's been a lot of great talk. But even before last week, we didn't even have the talk. So I don't mean to condone violence, but I would say it's not all bad.
No, it's not all bad, because you get people who are thinking this, or what do these people want? You know, why did they do this? You know, and they'll start thinking, you know, and maybe they want something better out of life than this. Yeah.
Before B.U.I.L.D came, there was no black pressure, and that's part of the fabric of our country right now, and it's kind of pressure against pressure, and that's the way people do business. That's the way this country's been doing business up to now. So B.U.I.L.D has that to offer.